Hi, today I'm going to show you how to make this tag, and I've used the mid-mod stamps and the Tumbling leaves stencil, and I've listed the paints down here, which is the Terre, Verte, Viridian blue, yellow ochre, mulberry bush. So let's start with the background. So I used the stencil and added true grit. So let's put that over, scrape that through the stencil. But what I did do is I didn't use the piece that I've just stenciled. We get another piece of card, and what I did was whatever excess is on the stencil, dip my finger in the paint and then I rub that over the stencil. Now there's not a lot of true grit on there, so let's dip my finger in that as well. Let's do, and then rub my finger over the stencil to push some of the true grit through that. So then what we end up with is the negative. So don't forget to put your stencil in water straight away and kind of get the true grit off your fingers. So that's kind of the background. Then we'll just give that a quick dry before we cut that out using the tag. So that's probably dry enough to do the next bit. So we take the tags and position that wherever you want, and let's draw around. We'll use the inside of the tag and draw around that, and then we'll cut that out, and that will form our background. So it's just, it doesn't take long to cut these out. So you can use the original one and then drip paints through it, but I thought this was a bit more interesting, using that. So then that's our background. So then we want to do the flowers and the leaves and do our stamping. So let's put that to one side. So with stamp the leaves, and I use the black Superfine. Here we are. So let's stamp that. And the leaves, a couple of leaves, and then some of the circles. The various sizes. We've got the large one, just used one of those, two of the medium, and a couple of the small ones. So we want to emboss these now. Let's take some paper, throw all your embossing glaze on it. There we are. Just tip that back in the pot. Oops. Not all of it went back in. It's a bit full. And now we're going to emboss. Just moving the heat gun around as soon as it's embossed the piece, the shape. There we are, all embossed. So now we want to do some painting. So I've put my colours on one of the plastic sheets so you can bring it in and show you. And then add quite a bit of water to these. And the leaves, I used a mixture of the green, the blue and the yellow. So I add water onto this first, and then the paint will move around, and then pick up some colour and kind of put it in the shapes of the leaves. But what I did do on the one I've prepared earlier, I just added some of that colour in the background so that when you cut it out it's not plain white. So let's go back in and put some more colour in these leaves and just dot that in, and then you can mix some of the blue in with the green to make a different green, and also dip that in. It doesn't have to be too accurate. And then you can perhaps go in with the yellow and that will highlight, but it's probably best to wait till that bit's dry. So I did the same effect with the larger leaves, adding water, and then let's add more water to this, and then depending what effect you want, you could go down each part of the leaf. If you want it darker at the edge, you could just add that in. Maybe if you wanted the yellow or the green to be more yellow, you can also lift some of the paint out by just dragging your brush over and maybe using a tissue to dab some of that colour. So you could dab that. If you wanted to add maybe some of the yellow, although that's, You get some highlights if you just dab the tissue on. Let's do this other one. We can add a bit of the blue. And then let them dry naturally, and then you don't burn the pigment off in the paint. So I did that with the leaves. Let's turn that round. And then with the flowers, I did the same effect, adding water. You can put water on these first. You can go over the edges if you want. You could let them dry in between, and then the colour will be more vivid. Let's take some of that yellow. It's got a peachy colour because I've got some mulberry bush in it. And then go on the inside. That will change colour. You don't have to be too precious with it. You kind of just pick up some of the colours. Let's paint. Mixing them will create like a peachy orangey colour, depending what ratios you add of the colours. You could let them dry and then paint in the centre. You could paint the centres. If you add some of the blue to the mulberry, then you get a lilac-y colour. It's entirely kind of up to you what colours. That's quite a dark kind of lilac. I wouldn't want to add the yellow because that would make a bit of a muddy colour. But then add some of the mulberry bush on the inside, and then let them dry naturally. So that's the painting done, and then you cut them out. So let me just move those to one side. So these are the ones then that I've already cut out. Let's just move that to one side. So I've got my leaves, so you can see there where I've put the blue and change the green, and it's made different colours then. And then these are the flowers, the circles that I've done. So you can see on the leaves there's some areas of white that are left, so that kind of creates a nice highlight then for the leaves. So then if we start putting it together, decide whereabouts you want to put them. So I kind of tend to go off centre with the main one, and then I've used grab and go then to glue them down. So this is a bit watery. Let me just add some of that on there. So we'll do that off centre. Getting that everywhere. And then the leaves. Add some of that on the back of the leaves. So we want to put those kind of underneath these ones. So stick one that side, and then one slightly higher up. Then that can go off the tag a bit. Let's press them down, and then we've got, we want to put one of the smaller ones on top of the larger ones. Oh, I haven't painted the centre of that one. And glue that down. So that one, we want the excuse me, we want the pink to show, and then on this one I'm going to put a foam pad on here and raise that up a bit, and then add a bit of grab and go to that as well, and then oops, position that kind of over here. And then just add 2 of the smaller ones kind of at the top. I did do them at the same side. There we are. Oh, and I haven't got a, let's punch a hole in the top of the tag. There we are. Oops. Punch a hole in there. And then you can use Sari silk. On this one, I just took some of my words from a Tim Holtz pad, but there will be lots of words and sayings on the IndigoBlu stamps that you can stamp and cut out, and then just add some Sari silk kind of to the top, and that's the finished tag. So if you do have a go, kind of do share on the I Love IndigoBlu Facebook page. We'd love to see what you make, and thank you for joining me. Bye.